So let's look at the items that we need to gather to submit a formal application. One is we need a copy of your driver's license and social security card. Second, application and some disclosures. We'll go over that in a bit. Signed credit authorization is a form I provide to you, as well as a signed appraisal authorization form that we will use later on in the transaction. Once you get an offer accepted, once you find a home, of course, and submit an offer, then we'll need 2 years tax returns, 2 most recent years, 2 years of W-2s, 2 most recent years, 2 years of Social Security, 1099, award letters, etc. if applicable, 2 pay stubs, 2 most current pay stubs covering 30 days, 2 most recent bank statements. Where is your down payment coming from? The source of your down payment, we need to document that, as well as any other investment account statements that will be necessary to document during the transaction. And if applicable, most recent mortgage statement if you're buying your second home or if you're moving up, as well as a copy of homeowner's insurance statement, contact information for your homeowner's agent, and recent property tax bill. These are all just if it's applicable, meaning if you have a property already. If you're a first-time home buyer, then you don't have to worry about that, but we can discuss that over our conversation over the phone or in person. Now, let's take a look at what a loan application, a standard loan application, looks like. If you opt out to submit a physical application, or if I take an application over the phone as opposed to doing it over our secure website, then this is what it'll look like. And keep in mind that before we do all this, we will have a preliminary consultation to find out exactly where you're at financially and where you want to be in terms of purchasing a property. So let's kind of quickly look over this loan application. There are a couple sections for you to pay attention to. Section 1 is the type of mortgage in terms of the loan. Now, pretty self-explanatory. You don't have to understand everything right away. I'll sit down with you and explain what each term means and what exactly we need to fill it in with what type of information. The second section is property information and purpose of loan. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Take some time and pause this video and take a look at the different sections here. Third, we have your information, and if you have a co-borrower, and that's the end of page. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's the fourth section, employment information, again for yourself, and if you have a co-borrower. That's the end of page 1. We'll go to page 2. Page 2 is a continuation of your employment information, followed by section 5, which includes monthly income and combined housing expense information. This will help us figure out kind of where you are financially, your financial health, and where we can determine the loan amounts. Section 6, we have assets and liabilities. We list them, assets on the left and liabilities on the right. Page 3 now, a continuation of assets and liabilities. You don't have to feel like you have to know everything right away. Again, this is part of my job, is to sit down and explain with you what each of these sections mean. Here we have details of the transaction, a few declarations, and acknowledgement and agreement, which I'll explain in person or over the phone. Lastly, on page 4, information for government monitoring, and page 5 is where we will have you sign and date, and that will complete the loan application.